we talked to our team about being alert because they would burn you for everything, every mistake you made. But hats off to our guys today. I thought we defended as well as we defended all year for an entire game this time. And that was good to see as we go out on the road again.
It was New Year's Eve Saturday night at Hec Ed with the 10-3 Ducks in town. Would the Huskies improve to 2-0 in Pac-12 play? Find out next on the Daily's Husky Highlights Show.
Give me that shit!
Welcome back to the Husky Highlights Show. I'm Taylor Soper, sports multimedia producer at The Daily.
And I'm Jacob Thorpe. I'm the basketball columnist at The Daily.
And it's New Year's Eve here at Hec Edmundson Pavilion, and the Huskies just hosted the Ducks, who put up 92 points on the Cougars on Thursday, but were stopped by a Husky defense that was pretty stifling tonight. Coach Romar called it the best defensive team effort of the season, as the Huskies go on to win 76-60 here on Hec Ed just before we turn the page to 2012. So let's get right to the highlights.
Playing their final game of the calendar year, the Huskies got off to a quick start and took an 8-point lead after this Tony Roten layup. But E.J. Singler, the younger brother of Kyle Singler, nailed this three-pointer from the top of the key that brought Oregon back within 2 at 24-22. Minutes later, it was UW center Aziz Njai having his own block party, first swatting UO guard Jonathan Lloyd and then doing the same exact thing right here to Olu Ashalu, eventually turning into 2 UW points on this Gaddy layup on the other end of the court.
Aziz Njai, I thought, was sensational on the defensive end. I thought he really played a good game for us.
Then sophomore C.J. Wilcox, coming off the bench instead of starting, knocked down 2 3-pointers in just over 1 minute that helped the Huskies enter halftime with a 41-30 advantage. Then 5 minutes into the second half, things got a little bit testy, as Ashalu seemed to elbow Roten Jr. right in the head after getting a rebound. Ashalu and UW senior Darnell Gant ended up getting technicals, but the commotion provided a coaching moment for Romar.
I mean, it definitely turned Coach Romar's meter out, because we was sitting down when they were discussing the call, and, Coach Romar bowed together and, gave us a little pep talk, and he was rowdy and said, let's pick it up, let's go, And from there on, we turned the lead up, so that could have sparked us right there.
But the Ducks ended up firing back first, as Woods swatted Roten with that huge block, and 2 consecutive layups by Singler cut the UW lead to 4 at 48-44. But thankfully for the UW, Wilcox was still hot and knocked down this 3 from the left corner, and followed that one with 1 more from the right elbow. He even added this nifty layup to push the UW lead to 10, and not starting obviously didn't affect him on Saturday night.
Romar told me it wasn't like a demotion or anything like that. It's just, it was better for the team chemistry, and I understood that. And as long as we're winning, I'm okay with it.
T. Ross added his own 3-pointer after that, as the Huskies took a 59-46 lead. Then it was Wilcox one more time with his 6th 3 on the day that pushed the UW lead to 16 points. And then finally, Roten had the icing on the cake when he finished on one end with a typical left-handed Roten layup and then raced all the way down the court to tell Oregon guard DeVoe Joseph to get the hell out of here, which pretty much sealed the deal for the UW. At the final buzzer, it was Washington 76, Oregon 60, as the Huskies improved to 2-0 in Pac-12 play after starting the season just 5-5. Here are the stats of the game for you, as Wilcox finished with a game-high 24 points, including 6 from downtown. Roten had 17-5, Njai had 8-6 and added 3 blocks and 2 steals. The UW defense held Oregon to just 32% shooting, and the Huskies had 19 fast break points.
Now, defense is exactly what Lorenzo Romar preaches constantly. Ever since he's got to UW, he's always been talking about defense and how it wins games, and that's exactly what he was talking about tonight. What did you see from the team defense specifically tonight?
Well, it was a great team effort defensively. They held the Ducks to 32% shooting, about 20% from behind the arc, and really, the Ducks had a hard time just kind of getting anything going. What they really did was they cut off those kind of dribbling and passing lanes. Oregon was forced to shoot about 20 3-pointers, and they only made about 5 of them. That's because they really just couldn't drive on the Huskies. The Huskies are really starting to kind of figure out that they can use their length to really stop people from getting into the key and just shut that down from the beginning.
And defensively, they were really strong, like you said. And on offense, C.J. Wilcox, he came off the bench, kind of reminiscent of last year with UCLA at Hec Ed, how he kind of went off. Second half, he caught fire.
Absolutely. He's going to got that Jason Terry, Manu Ginobili six-man thing going on. It doesn't really bother him that he's not starting, and that's fine because he's getting starters minutes. He's scoring well, he's getting his shots off, and what's really starting to be impressive is that he's really just not a spot-up shooter anymore.
Yeah.
He hit back-to-back floaters in the key today. He was driving. He can put the ball on the floor. He's really more than just a shooter, There's not a whole lot separating him and Terrence Ross in that regard anymore. He can really start to take the team and put them on his back, and not when he's starting, and that's kind of an impressive quality to see.
And you add that offensive skill set to just his shooting, and then you got Ross. You can go to Ross on any given night. You can go to Gaddy. Gaddy was kind of talking about pick your poison, and of course you got Roten, who 17 more points tonight, and he seems to be working a lot better with Gaddy. Just overall, he's kind of keeping his head up more, passing the ball, seeing his teammates, and at the same time still putting the ball in the hoop. What are you seeing out of him tonight?
I think the game's starting to slow down for Roten. You got to remember, he's only played a few college basketball games, really. Most of that guys he's playing against are a few years older.
Right.
They've got 20 plus more games and of Division I basketball experience than him. But he's starting to catch up. He's starting to figure it out. And when that happens, he can allow his natural talent to take over. You saw today, most of his shots were just easy little lay-ins in the key, but he's just so strong. He's so quick. He can get that. Let's be honest, he's still not a very good shooter, but he's just so much more athletic, such a good ball handler, that it really doesn't matter at this level. It's going to stop him when he gets to the NBA, but for right now, there's not a lot of guys out there who can just keep him from getting those lay-ins.
Yeah, if I'm the other team, I'm pretty scared right now. Even if he's only a freshman, but Tony Roten's going to do big things here at the UW, and not just Tony, the whole team seems to be kind of meshing a little bit. They started off 5-5, a little shaky. They had a lot of gaps in their game, but this seems to be coming together a little bit. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but is that kind of what you see? Do you see this team kind of coming together, right as the conference play starts?
I do, and it might just be that sometimes you need a little adversity. You need to get your back up against the wall to really kind of force a team to start to play like that. It makes you more selfless because you start to realize that wins are more important than individual statistics. Like last year, when Abdul Gaddy went down, the chemistry of the team changed. Isaiah had to take over. It took them a while to kind of figure it out, but then they did. And when that happened, their chemistry built up. I think that's what you're seeing from the Huskies right now. They've had to overcome a few things together. We don't know what's going on in practice. Maybe Romar's yelling at them, and that's bringing them together as a team.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, I think you're right, Taylor. The team is starting to kind of just play together better. They're starting to learn each other's role better. And it might just be that they're relying on so many young players. You've got Wilcox and Ross are both sophomores.
Right.
Gaddy's a junior who didn't play almost at all last year.
Right.
And Roten's a freshman. So they're still learning each other's games. And each game is a significant milestone for them, and they become a much more cohesive unit.
I'm going to give my best, and I'm going to give my strengths I put into the team. He puts his strengths into the team, and everybody does that. And that's just the main thing, that with a young team, you don't realize roles yet early, but I think we're starting to come into our roles, and we know them now, and we know what's best for the team, and all it comes down to is everybody giving their best all the time.
It's going to be interesting to see how this young squad carries itself throughout conference play. It was, Romar was talking about how you can win your first 2 games of the conference play and then, lose your next 8. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but what are you kind of expecting? They hit the road to Colorado, Utah, 2 not very good teams, 4-0 maybe. What about after that?
Well, they've got kind of a window of opportunity right now. The Huskies are going to go travel to Colorado and Utah, who, as you said, are kind of struggling teams right now. Tonight, Utah put up 33 points in an entire game. Wilcox almost matched that by himself tonight.
Right.
So let's assume the Huskies win those.
Okay.
Then they've got 4 games at home. They've got an opportunity to really start off maybe even 8-0 in conference, really kind of take the bull by the horns and, be one of the better teams in the conference and maybe still kind of get back in that NCAA tournament picture.
Exactly. And, regardless, it'll be interesting to see. This team has kind of gone up and down throughout the first couple months of this season, but they've got talent and they've got a lot of youth. So regardless, it's going to be exciting to watch them play. So again, it's UW 76, Oregon 60 here at Hec Ed on New Year's Eve, and wishing you all a Happy New Year and a good 2012. For Jacob, I'm Taylor. We'll see you in about 2 weeks when the Huskies come back to Hec Ed.